Note: yes, this is a text-to-speech voice talking. I have no working microphone. Never mind. Hello. This is my review of Crash Mind Over Mutant for the PS2, PSP, Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii, and Nintendo DS. I should point out that the DS version is very different from the console version which I am reviewing now. I have only played the Wii and PSP versions, but as far as I know there is no major difference between them all. So the story takes place a year after the events of Crash of the Titans, which makes sense because this game was released a year later. After betraying him, Cortex sends Nina to evil public school and teams up with his ex-colleague, Dr. Nitrous Brio. Brio and Cortex create a helmet device called the Envy, which can do all manner of cool technological stuff. Coco and Crunch become addicted to these helmets, unaware that they are really mind control devices. They mutate into monstrous creatures. It's up to Crash and Aku Aku to rescue Coco and Crunch and stop Cortex and Brio from making these devices. The character designs have improved overall. Crash looks like a mix between his Twinsanity design and his Titans design. Coco looks a lot better and more like her Nitro Kart, Twinsanity, and Tag Team Racing design. Crunch looks a lot more like his Nitro Kart and Tag Team Racing designs. And Brio's design is really nice and stays true to his original Naughty Dog design with elements from his Twinsanity design. It's a pity you don't see his design other than in his boss fight with Crunch. Aku Aku, Cortex, N.Gin, Nina, and Okoka have stayed the same. The environments feel much brighter and lively than before, giving the game a happier feel that is needed in a Crash Bandicoot game. The music has greatly improved since 2007. I would honestly say the music is the best since the Naughty Dog games. I loved Twinsanity's soundtrack, but I enjoy this music better. The cutscenes are all 2D and each one is done in a different art style, and some even parody TV shows such as South Park and Dragon Ball Z. While these make this game very unique, if they ever make another game, I hope they go back to 3D like Crash of the Titans, or even to pre-rendered, like in Nitro Kart and Twinsanity. The humor in the game is great, and some of it made me burst out laughing. It's less tongue-in-cheek, like Titans was, and closer to Twinsanity's humor. The voice acting is pretty good and Maurice LaMarche fits and Rio perfectly, aside from his stutter is gone. The gameplay is very similar to Titans, except there is a lot more platforming, and not very much combat. I'm sure this pleases fans of the series. The combat is improved as enemies no longer attack you all at once and there aren't often huge crowds of them all wanting a piece of you. The platforming is much nicer, and some elements are very cleverly crafted. I would say platforming has the same clever designs and puzzles as in the original trilogy. Crash can now dig again, although digging is a little different to how it was in Crash 2. You still spin to go underground, but this time the camera gives you an overhead view, as well as a small view of you beneath the surface. Digging is used for getting to unreachable places and collecting extra mojo. Climbing returns as well, but it is on vertical walls instead of ceilings and meshes. These elements give the game a feel that may have been lost in the last game, and feels more Crash-like. A lot of areas involve backtracking, which can be difficult considering the camera is fixed in a certain position, meaning you'll sometimes be running towards the camera not knowing where you're going. The backtracking could have been greatly improved if the camera faced the other way when missions require you to backtrack. New paths are often unlocked, making the trip not exactly the same one you already took. The Titans are actually used for platforming more than combat now. They can now jump, and different ones have abilities to help complete tasks. For example, the Ratsicle can freeze and surf on shallow water. The Rhino Roller can get up half pipes and across rails that other Titans and Crash can't, and Grimleys can slow down time to avoid fast-moving obstacles. This helps give the Titans more involvement in the game, and less like big fighting machines. Titans can also be stored in Crash's pocket and used later, although only one can be stored at a time, so if you are already riding a Titan, you will only switch between the two Titans, so if you need to play as Crash, you will have to kill one of your Titans. This improves upon the problem that Crash of the Titans had, but it still doesn't fix it. Overall, if you played Crash of the Titans and enjoyed it, you will surely love this game even more. If you didn't like Crash of the Titans, then you should check this game out as it improved on a lot of things and feels more like the original Crash. I gave this game an 8 out of 10 and it gets into 3rd place in my personal favorite Crash games. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please comment and tell me what you thought of it and what you thought of Mind Over Mutant. I respect everyone's opinions. And if you liked this review, subscribe and stay tuned for my reviews of other Crash games.